So today I'm going to talk about taking your vintage lens and putting it onto your digital SLR. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan Moore. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, content creator, and I like to make videos like this for other photographers, filmmakers, and content creators who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live. So if that sounds like something that you're into, consider checking out some of the other videos on my channel. I talk about photography, video, a couple of gear reviews, and turning your hobby into a hustle. So today I'm going to talk about this new little addition to my gear. I got this thing, it's called a adapter. It's a lens adapter, and basically it's an FD mount to an EOS mount. So you might have been checking out online, you might have heard about these things, or maybe you're getting into vintage lenses. So if you're like me, maybe you started out with film, or maybe you haven't started out with film, but you've been checking out vintage lenses and you're looking for an adapter that will go onto your digital SLR. So this is the adapter, try to get that in focus, that I have on my vintage Canon 50mm 1.8 lens. Okay, and this is by a company called Fotodiox. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but this is a really cool little adapter right here. And basically, you take this adapter. This is what it looks like by itself, not on the lens. So I'm gonna show you that. Here it is. You can see my face through there. All right. So here's the adapter. Back that up. Okay. And essentially you take that, you slap that bad boy onto your vintage lens. So here's my Canon 50mm 1.8 vintage lens, okay? And I used to have an old Canon film camera, so that's where I got this lens from specifically. But you take this little adapter right here and you line it up the same way that you would if you were putting it onto your camera. They got the red dots, right? Take that bad boy, boom, twist it on there, slap it onto your camera, and you're ready to go. So now the way that this bad boy works is that it has a little ring, this blue ring right here on the bottom, and you can twist that. And now when you twist this ring, okay, what that essentially allows you to do is it allows you to control the aperture with the lens. So let me take this off real quick and I'm gonna give you an example of how that works. Okay, so I just removed my lens from my camera, and the way that it works is that after you place it off, I'm gonna see if I can get it to focus on here. There's a little dot, okay? And you wanna move this lens ring to match up with that white dot right there, okay? Now, once you have it hooked up to that white dot, now you can see the aperture, right, in here, and you could control your aperture ring. So let me try to do this here for you guys so you can see. All right, now see how I can open it up and I can close it now, right? Open it all the way up, and now you can close it, you can open it, you can close it, right? Now you can control the aperture, all right? Also, you can control the aperture, okay, with the lens ring itself. So right now I'm just gonna turn the lens ring, okay? And you see how that works? Boom. So now you can get that open all the way up to 1.8, or you can close it all the way down to f22. Now you might have seen other videos on YouTube talking about this bad boy right here, and it's really cool. Right now, I just purchased it off of Amazon. I think I got it for about $35 US, so that's not too bad. And what you'll notice is that, and this is for Canon specifically, so a lot of the old lens mounts were called FD, and then you want to get an FD mount, okay, to a EOS mount, especially if you're using Canon. All right, so this is for all my Canon people out there. If you're using a Sony or Panasonic or something else, you can still use these adapters. You just have to find a specific adapter for your camera. Now, I like to use this adapter on my favorite camera for taking pictures, which is the Canon 5D. And the great thing about it is that it works on the Canon 5D. This is the classic, but if you have a Mark II or Mark III, it works on those as well. It also works on your Rebel. So if you have a Rebel, I actually right now shoot with a SL2. So it works on that. I also have a T3i. It works on that because you have the EOS mount. And the cool thing is that you can now find these vintage lenses, which you can find them pretty cheap on eBay. You can get them off of Amazon as well too. but I found some really cheap on eBay, and you can give your photos a different look. So one of the things that I've noticed is that at the lower aperture, so if you're shooting wide open, say at 1.8, you get a little bit of a haziness. But if you're shooting at f22, well, let's just say that once you start to go up, so you're at 1.8, then you go to 2.8, and you know, what else we got here? 4, f5, 5.6, it gets sharper. And a lot of these older lenses, they're really well built. They're all metal. They get a nice image. A lot of them are sharp and they can rival today's lenses. But a lot of times, if you're gonna be getting into vintage lenses, you're really not looking for the sharpest lens. Now, it is kind of a workaround. So if you wanna get a nice sharp lens, instead of paying the astronomical dollars that it costs for new lenses these days, that is a possibility. But this is really good if you're trying to get, you know, a different type of look, a different type of feel, different type of aesthetic to your work, right? I like to have that, you know, kind of a vintage look, a kind of a textury look. I like the imperfections and the characteristics that some of these lenses might have that you might come across and you might find. So I just want to let you guys know that right now, if you're looking to have, you know, the sharpest lens out there, that's probably, you know, not going to happen. Not to say that you can't find a really good lens that has really good image quality, because that is a possibility. But if you're looking for something to kind of give your looks of your photos or of your videos kind of a different feel, kind of that vintage look, that old school look, these are really great for that. Just as a caveat, just so you know, when you are shooting with these photo adapters, what ends up happening is that when you use your camera, I'm gonna show you the aperture if I can get it in focus here. Okay, the aperture will say 0.0. All right, so you really kind of have to know what you're doing. You're gonna have to be shooting in manual, right? Which is a good thing, right? And it's not bad, especially because, you know, you're not gonna have automatic focus. You're gonna have to have manual focus, not only when you're shooting your photos, but when you're shooting your video as well, which a lot of times isn't that big of a deal, especially with video. And the thing is that even though you're using the camera on manual, you still have a light reading coming through. So, you know, you can still adjust, you know, your shutter speed from your wheel up top, and that will, you know, you can still see that little light meter down in there. So, you know, if you're a little overexposed or a little underexposed, whatever the case may be, however it is that you like to shoot. And for the price of $35, it's a nice little addition to the bag. Once again, I'll show it to you. So this is the adapter right here. And it's got like a cool little look on there, nice little ring on there. But yeah, that's the adapter. That's the lens that I'm shooting with, the Canon 50mm 1.8 lens. And for $35 US, it's a nice little adapter, or it's a nice little addition to your bag, because it gives you some different options and you can find all types of different lenses. But like I said, specifically with this one, you want to look for lenses that have an FD mount, because this is a FD to EOS mount. So if you have a Sony, you have a, you know, a Nikon, or you have something else that's not a Canon, they do have these lenses out there. They're all about the same amount, roughly $35. Sometimes you can get them cheap. I've seen some for like $8 that are just very, very simple adapters. Also, they have ones that are like in the hundreds of dollars. And I believe with those ones that are in the hundreds of dollars, you still get to use your manual, or I'm sorry, your automatic focus and all that other jazz. Now, don't take my word on that. I just think that's what you can do, especially if you're going to be, you know, putting an adapter on there. You're paying $200-300 bucks. You better be able to use some automatic focus. So that's it for me today, guys. That is the Canon. That is the FD to EOS mount adapter. I have, like I said, I'm using my vintage lens right there. At the time of filming this, I haven't really taken a lot of pictures with it, just some stuff to mess around. But if I do have some examples by the time I post this, I will put it up. And also I'll do, you know, how about this? I'll do another video where I just show some sample images from this lens right here. So hopefully you found this video useful. If so, drop me a like. Consider subscribing to the channel, checking out some of the other videos that I have on photography, videography, and becoming a full-time freelancer. And for all my people out there who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live, this is your man, Jonathan Moore, and I'm signing out. Peace.